Hi, I'm here with Brandon Olander, and we're both at this hotel in Arizona and doing a clinic for Breakthrough. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to ask him some questions and get a snare player's perspective on a few quad-related things. Brandon, as somebody who specializes in playing one drum, what do you think is a very an attribute of playing on one drum that you find very important? As opposed to somebody that has the around responsibility?
I think just playing on one drum allows me to really focus, especially on the rhythms and the sound quality that I'm producing. Really being able to dial in those things maybe more than someone who has the added responsibility of playing on multiple drums does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I feel like anytime that I'm just practicing on my own or even just reviewing like videos of myself playing, I'm really trying to key into those ideas, like do I have rhythmic inaccuracies or inaccuracies in my sound.
Do you think the fact that you don't have to worry about around stuff or any of the quad related responsibilities allows you to do better at certain things like playing rhythms better or producing a better sound in contrast to quad players?
Yeah, I think so. Just it's like one less thing that I have to think about in order to be successful when I'm playing. So, for quad players, that's kind of the added challenge is not only do they have to worry about, playing rhythms just as well as snare players usually do, or playing with, the same sound quality or same intention of dynamics, they also have to pay attention to how they're playing the arounds, if they're playing in the correct zones, all that stuff that you guys specialize in.
Yeah, and, one of the things that quad players kind of, they don't quite utilize the one drum rehearsal etiquette as much as they should because there's just a whole field of the arounds that makes quads more interesting to play in some aspects, but we don't quite give enough attention to the quality of the sound, the quality of the rhythms, because we're more worried about the responsibility of what drum we're hitting or the melody that we're producing or the tones that we're messing around with. So have you ever considered playing quads, or have you ever tried playing quads for anything at any point?
I would say that my quad playing has been limited to what most snare drummers do, and that's just running over to the quads when they're tuning and just hacking on them until someone yells at you to stop.
Yeah, usually it's the section leaders, but it's okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's okay. I forgive you. For any intermediate high school student, whether it's a snare or quad player, or bass player, what would you suggest for them? What would be something that they should focus on in order to kind of get into the independent field? Or what attribute do you think would benefit them the most to help them get into world class?
I would say some of the biggest things are foot timing, especially for rhythms that maybe you wouldn't normally play, because independent groups play with a lot more rhythmic vocabulary and they're asked to do a lot of physical things while they're doing that. They have to be marching around or doing crazy body movement at the same time. So I feel like that's something that people need to do to achieve that gap between whatever their scholastic group is to getting into one of those elite independent groups. And then as well, just building your vocabulary in terms of different rudiments, hybrid rudiments, and the grids, just being able to be very flexible with things that you can play.
So a lot of just mental things, just being able to being mentally capable of doing those things. Mm-hmm. Okay. Chops or technical efficiency?
It's the age-old question. I'm going to have to go with technical efficiency, but obviously building your chops is something that is important for a lot of scenarios, but I'd say when you're playing like show music for an independent group, it's more about efficiency. That's really what allows you to play the more difficult rhythms, more difficult rudiments at faster tempos, and be able to do that while staying in the sound, making sure that you're playing with other people around you.
And I agree. Me personally, compared to my peers, I don't really have as much chops to keep up with them. Like just strictly talking chops, I definitely focus more on my my motion efficiency and my technical efficiency to help me get through the requirements of world class groups. So. Anyways, you've heard it. Thank you for getting interviewed, Brandon. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
He's still tired, but it's okay.
I just woke up.
All right. See ya. Cool.
Yeah. Nailed it.